Now we're into phase 2 of destroying this base to make a keyboard controller out of it. I'm going to go ahead. I decided I'm going to go ahead and pop the fretboard off so I can run the resistor chain underneath it. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and pop the whole neck off to facilitate all of that. Ta-da! I work fast when I'm motivated. See, it's already got a shim in there. You know, whatever. Okay, so I actually read some stuff on the internet about how to take the fretboard off. Well, I'm going to use the method seems to be the most popular, which is to use a steam iron and heat it up to soften up the glue, and then slowly wedge my way through there with a razor blade or something. And so I'll get started on that. I've got the iron out here, and it's set on the wool or cotton setting, and pretty much full steam ahead. One thing I'm going to use is a wet sock, because it's best. And this is an old sock, not one of my dress socks that I use for job interviews. Ha ha ha. And so, do this for about 5 minutes. And to start at the butt end of it, the end that goes to the body. Alright, I've been ironing the board, for a little over 5 minutes now, and concentrating mainly on the butt end, the end that bolts onto the neck, and remove the old sock, and I've got a razor blade here. Supposedly, you just sort of work it carefully under there. And maybe give it a few fairly light hits with your whacking stick. Some people use a hammer, but I had this whacking stick custom made back in the shop. I don't know if it matters if kind of get a close-up of there, me trying to insert the razor blade ever so gently. You see, I'm just sort of slowly working that in there, and it does look like it's starting to separate a little bit, which is what we want. Remember, you want to get the razor blade between the fretboard and the neck as much as possible. I recommend having a little more patience than I do. Okay, I've got the razor blade pretty much well wedged in there. Iron some more. Now, it also occurs to me I might have wanted to pull the frets before I did this, but I didn't. So now I've got my always use the right tool for the right job. So I've got this. I'm going to slide in right above the razor. And just sort of carefully work it along. think you really only want to go about just a couple of frets at a time. And I'm just being ever so careful and not putting too much real pressure on this. But I think since this is a fairly cheap bass in the first place, then it's hey, now that took not nearly as much time and was a whole lot easier than I thought. And here is the groove under which the truss rod is, and I'm going to go ahead and pull my nut off because I always like to pull my nut. And this groove I'm going to dig out of here a little bit, kind of route that out so the chain of resistors can go right through this. Then I'll probably drill up through the fretboard just underneath each one of the frets, trying to make the electrical connection for the resistor change. And I think I want to use a 100 ohm or 100 mega ohm, I forget, resistors across each one. So that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I think the main key is to just be really patient and use a really soft touch. But like I said, this was a very cheap bass, and so I think it went a whole lot easier just because of that. I certainly wouldn't want to try this on a bass that's worthwhile, like a 62 jazz bass or something like that. Something like that I'd send into the shop, but something like that I wouldn't be using for a project like this. So stay tuned for the next step.